Most people think of cancer as a genetic disease, a chaotic storm of mutations that spiral out of control. But what if that's not the root cause? What if cancer's true weakness isn't in its genes, but it's in its metabolism? This video explores cancer metabolism and how cancer cells depend on glucose and glutamine to survive. All cancer cells, regardless of where they appear, in the brain, breast, colon, or skin, share one critical vulnerability. They depend on fermentation. That means they generate energy without oxygen, using a primitive process that healthy cells rarely rely on. And to keep that fermentation going, cancer cells need fuel. Two specific substances, glucose and glutamine. Without them, the disease begins to starve. This insight changes everything. Because instead of chasing mutations, we can target the fuel. We can shift the terrain, the metabolic environment, and make it harder for cancer to survive. It's not a miracle cure, but it's a strategy, one that begins with understanding how cancer feeds and how we can gently, intelligently cut off its supply. Fermentation isn't just a quirk of cancer cells, it's their lifeline. And like any fire, it needs fuel. And, as I mentioned earlier, that fuel comes in two forms, glucose and glutamine. Glucose is sugar. It's everywhere, in bread, pasta, sweets, even fruit. Cancer cells consume it voraciously, turning it into energy and building blocks for growth. Glutamine is an amino acid. It's more subtle, less talked about, but it's just as essential. It provides nitrogen, the raw material for DNA, RNA, and proteins. Without it, cancer cells can't multiply. Together, glucose and glutamine form a powerful synergy. One provides carbon, the other nitrogen. One builds, the other energizes. And here's the twist. While glucose can be lowered through diet and lifestyle, glutamine is trickier. Our body needs it for immunity, gut health, brain function. You can't simply cut it out. That's why the solution isn't suppression. It's strategy. By understanding how cancer cells use these fuels and how to gently interrupt that process, we begin to shift the balance. Not with force, but with wisdom. Glutamine is not the enemy. It's a vital part of our biology. Every healthy cell needs it, but cancer cells hijack it. In a disrupted metabolic environment, when inflammation rises, mitochondria falter, and insulin spikes, glutamine ends up in the wrong hands. It becomes fuel for disease. That's why the solution isn't to eliminate glutamine, it's to slow it down, to redirect it, to make it less available to cancer cells, without harming the rest of the body. And nature offers tools. Milk thistle contains a compound called psilocybin, a gentle antioxidant that interferes with cancer's ability to use glutamine. But it's not alone. Citrus fruits, especially grapefruit, oranges, lemons, and limes, contain a flavonoid called naringenin, most concentrated in the peel and the white membranes between segments. Soy, on the other hand, provides genistein, a plant-based isoflavone. These natural compounds work in harmony. Like psilocybin, they help disrupt glutamine metabolism, placing cancer cells under nutritional stress, or even preventing their formation altogether. They don't attack, they whisper. They nudge metabolism back toward balance. It's not about force, it's about finesse. By using these compounds strategically, in the right doses, at the right time, we begin to reshape the terrain. We don't fight cancer head-on, we change the conditions that allow it to thrive. Cancer doesn't just grow in a vacuum. It thrives in a specific terrain, shaped by inflammation, stress, and metabolic imbalance. When insulin spikes, when mitochondria weaken, when chronic inflammation takes hold, the body becomes fertile ground for disease. Glutamine, once a helper, becomes a saboteur. But that terrain can be restored in three powerful ways. Omega-3 fats, found in fish, walnuts, and flax, help calm inflammation. Movement strengthens mitochondria. Even gentle exercise, walking, swimming, stretching, helps the body breathe, burn, and balance. Insulin rhythm is key. Avoid constant snacking, choose whole foods over refined sugars, and give your body time between meals to reset. A balanced plate, rich in fiber, healthy fats, and protein, slows digestion and keeps blood sugar stable. This isn't about perfection, it's about rhythm. About choosing foods that nourish, activities that energize, and habits that restore. Because when the terrain shifts, cancer loses its grip. You don't need to fight the disease directly. You need to make the body less hospitable to it. Less sugar, less stress, more breath, more balance. It's not a war, it's a garden. And every choice you make is a seed. What you've seen so far isn't speculation. It's a shift in perspective grounded in science. One championed by Dr. Thomas Seyfried and his team, who have spent decades studying the metabolic roots of cancer. They don't offer a miracle cure. What they offer, though, is a map. A chain of logical steps that deprives cancer of the conditions it needs to grow. It's not about attacking the disease. It's about changing the environment. When each part of the chain is in place, stable insulin, strong mitochondria, reduced inflammation, strategic fuel targeting, cancer loses its grip. Terrain becomes inhospitable. The fire fades. This approach isn't yet part of mainstream clinical guidelines, but Seyfried believes that within a few years, metabolic therapy will become a cornerstone of cancer prevention and treatment. And even now, we can begin. Not with fear, not with force, but with understanding. Because when we shift the focus from the tumor to the terrain, from suppression to strategy, we reclaim something powerful, the ability to participate in our own healing. It's not about fighting harder, it's about seeing deeper and choosing, step by step, to nourish the conditions where health can grow. If this video has been helpful to you and you feel called to explore more the wisdom of true food, the power of natural remedies, the path of inner growth, and a spirituality born from the heart, share it and subscribe to the channel. Let's keep walking this journey together. And thank you for watching.